Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday morning edition of the Mop on December 2nd. Oh, lost my phone. Not good. Back in the Silverado. Nope, we don't need to report the problem. There we go. Yep. See, you can tell I don't edit anything because that'll be in my video. I don't take and cut things or do anything else. It is strictly me talking about my opinion. Which maybe is why I don't have 1 million followers. Maybe I don't have a face for YouTube or Facebook. Don't really care. So welcome, December 2nd, to the Moose Opinion Project, aka the Mop. So, the R word. Yes, the president called the governor of Minnesota retarded. Coming from a family that has a special needs sister, and for me it's a sister-in-law, for my wife, of course, sister. She has special needs, and it's not her fault. She was, as a young baby, bitten by a mosquito and got high fever, and it stayed high for very long. But Renee has a sense of humor. She is a handful, but she is definitely not the R word. Where do we get away with calling people those kind of names? We use it sometimes to describe how people do if they break into a place or if they do something really stupid. We call them that word. And people are like, well, what word? Retarded. We don't use it. We should not be using it. This is dumb. This is stupid. You're dumb. You're stupid. But it should never come down to that word. Well, now the president used the word and he found out. Sure enough, there's a Republican senator that is not happy about it because he has family that has Down syndrome, and unfortunately they are picked on a lot. I remember at the Plain Pool, Dougie Smith and the girl that he was always hanging around were picked on mercilessly, just mercifully. There's kids that have special needs that get picked on in this country relentlessly. And why is that? Why do we pick on people? Period. Friends joshing back and forth is one thing. If you know each other and you do it and you pick on each other, is one thing. But why do we do it to people we don't know? Why do we do it in schools? Why does the bully have to do the things the bully does? Say hurtful content, push people backwards, keep pushing them down. It's the same way the tough guy, has to smack somebody upside the head or trip them going down the hallway. You have to prove your dominance. See, I wasn't ever wired that way. There were days I wish I was to be the other way, of when I saw that guy get tripped, is to go put my nose in somebody's business. I wasn't wired that way because I was also the one that was looked upon as somewhat not cream of the crop material. I came from growing up wearing homemade clothes to wearing what we could at garage sales, whatever it may come from. At 15, I started to work at Paul Beck Super Value so I could then keep up with the cool people, or who I thought were cool, in school. And if you wanted to wear the best shoes to play basketball. You know, one thing I learned is no matter what you wear for cool clothes or those expensive sneakers, it doesn't affect anything at all. It doesn't help in any way. Because people are just going to be mean or rude to make themselves feel better. You know, if you ask anybody, why are you picking on somebody? I don't know. Something to do, maybe. They never want to take accountability either for their actions. You know, it's just now we're discussing this boat thing again, that now they're throwing somebody else under the bus, saying, oh, Hegseth didn't do that. He didn't give out the warning. This guy did. So now we're going on to this guy. Instead of Pete Hegseth saying, hey, I said no survivors, period. No, we're not going there now. We're going to throw somebody else and ruin their career so we can keep up the clown show. I'm sorry, but if I worked for somebody and the boss says, we need to sell all inventory, all of it needs to go, and we sell it all, but then the owner comes back and says, oh, guys, you guys screwed up. What the hell are you thinking? And my boss would say, well, he did it. I didn't tell him to. I may have hinted towards it, but I didn't give the order. I just said I didn't give the approval, per se. And yet we're frustrated and upset at, like, Mr. Kelly for giving the do not do anything illegal orders. Here's why. This is exactly what he was talking about. He was talking about not going through and pushing the button to make another airstrike on 2 civilians that you saw clinging to a boat to blow them up. That is exactly what Mr. Kelly is talking about. See, we always want to push and appease and make people happy all the time. And sometimes that's just not possible. Sometimes you need to just say, no, I'm not crossing that moral code. And that's what they were talking about. Why is it that we have to continue to degrade people? Why are we watching this administration degrade women, immigrants, people of special needs? Trump started that back when he did his hand gesture of that gentleman that he was mocking. Why was it okay then? Because a lot of his followers are okay with that. A lot of his followers are okay with pushing down others. Why are we having problems with SNAP benefits? Because it's going to who? It's going where? It's going to help the lower class, the lowers in needs. It's helping kids and everything else that don't contribute to his lifestyle. You know, this whole, we're blowing up drug boats, we're doing this to keep drugs out of the U.S., but yet he just pardoned one of the biggest drug dealers in probably a long time. 400 tons. 400 tons. Really? And we're going to pardon him? Oh, and we're going to pardon people that screw people out of a lot of money too? Are you serious? And you guys are sitting on your couch that are praising him, saying, oh, he's the best president ever and he's all about it? Are you freaking serious? We're going after illegal immigrants because they're bringing meth and whatever else, Narcan, everything. They're bringing it all in here. Jeepers, crepes, it can't happen. We got to secure the border. But yet we pardon one that brought 400 ton of drugs into this country. Do you know what a ton is? And if you don't, look it up and then try to figure out what kind of container 400 ton of cocaine or meth or anything would fill. 400 ton of marijuana would be a whole ton, but it'd be a lot. But 400 ton of cocaine, when you sell it by the gram or the ounce, yeah, it's a lot of money. Let's just let him pardon him. We'll be fine. Holy shit, people. Common sense has to start paying attention here pretty soon. We have to start realizing that this country is being scammed by the orange machine. And you can sit here and wave your MAGA flag, your MAGA Trumps, whatever. Buy his Bibles, buy his gold watches, buy his gold cards, whatever you want to do. Watched a clip yesterday with Sergeant Kelly that was talking about as he was driving his casino into bankruptcy, as Trump was driving that into bankruptcy, Mr. Kelly was serving our country in Iraq and Kuwait. As we were honoring 9/11 and Trump was worried about, now that the Twin Towers are gone, I'll have the tallest towers in New York. It was all about him. Mr. Kelly was delivering a flag in space to honor those that lost their lives. See, that's the whole thing, is if you saw the clip yesterday about his MRI, he said it was on his ear. And the doctors are so amazed at how well his ear is healing and how well his body just heals to everything. There's one thing that cannot be healed or reversed course is what's inside the skull, the brain. There is some severe issues going on, and you have to, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, and if you're listening at all and taking accountability for what you're hearing, you have to know that there is something not right upstairs. To sit here and say, the MRI was for my ear. Well, he didn't even know. He said, yes, 2 days ago. He didn't even know what it was on. Bullshit. Anybody that goes for an MRI knows what they're going for. The doctor doesn't just slap you in for an MRI and say, we'll let you know what it is. And you go home and you go, well, gee, I wonder what that MRI was on. And then he brought up the cognitive test again, how smart he is and how he aced it. And calling female reporters dumb and stupid and they could never pass it. At what point do you ladies that support him stick up for your ladies that are together? See, ladies should stick up for ladies and want to be treated with the utmost respect no matter what. Don't leave it up. And here's the other thing that pisses me off is when that guy says that, none of the others reporters say, hey, jackwagon, enough. What is it with you and always degrading people? What's he going to lock you out of the next conference? Is he going to lock you out of the next big press release that all of a sudden you go home with absolute garbage anyway, just word salad of no coherency? Stand up for human beings and their right. That's why I stand with Sergeant Kelly. He is standing up and he's not afraid to stand up because he's gone through enough shit for this country to not have to go through the mud. See, I think that's the other thing is they like to drag people through the mud because hopefully they'll get tired of getting dirty and then they just go away. I think he's now starting to realize that he's pissing off more people that are going to stand up and not go away. Mr. Hegseth is going to find that out shortly. I have a feeling when they find out he messed with some war game stuff that he shouldn't have been messing with. At least I hope they do. We need to start proving to this country that we believe in law and order and not just about money. So if you're not upset that he released somebody the other day or pardoned them for their 400-ton drug deal, you are still part of the problem then, because we're not fighting narcotics anymore. We're not fighting that scenario anymore. When we're pardoning the biggest drug dealers around, we're not here to fight any of that. We're not here to get this nation free of drugs, because you don't pardon somebody like that. You don't pardon people that have ripped off the many people. They aren't talking about ripping off the rich. See, that's the other thing about scams and things. You don't rip off the rich. They aren't going after those. They stole people's life savings. They stole all of that. Gave a lot of it to probably him. I'm guessing if you look back at some of these people he pardoned, they are big contributors to his political party. And now they're being pardoned after screwing many people over from financial ruin. Now we're just going to pardon them and say, hey, welcome. You got a few million you can slip my party. That would be awesome. Or, hey, thanks for your 400 ton of coke in here in the country. We'll pardon you. It's okay. You served them enough time. Bezos is, those guys, Soros is out. He screwed over people left and right. If you and I did that scheme, guess where we would be? Because we are middle class, lower class. We're in prison for a hell of a long time. I don't think he's going to come along and pardon us, because we don't have the influence that he needs to rub his ego and to rub his feet. So, I guess his MRI found that his ear is super healthy and it's healing faster and better than anything, along with his IQ test and whatever else he took. That's where I'm at today. I am sick and tired of people not using common sense and not listening. And they're all going to say this to Chris, quit. It's not going to change. This is how it is. You know what? I don't believe that. I could listen to Barack Obama, and you guys, some people go, oh, here we go. I could listen to him talk because it was educated and it was well spoken. Did I agree with everything he did? Absolutely not. But he had a hell of a lot better thought about the American citizens than this guy does. This guy doesn't give two shits about any of us. He gives his biggest thoughts to his affiliates in Russia, his affiliates in Saudi Arabia, because he is making money hand over fist with his affiliates. And if we do not get that somebody violated the whole killing these innocent people, and they are innocent because we have no proof. There's no bricks of drugs. There's nothing. They're alleged drug boats. Again, I'll tell you, if we start blowing up cars on the interstate of alleged drug dealers, all hell would break loose. All hell would break loose if all of a sudden we just start watching a car in front of us get blown up. Oh, he was an alleged drug dealer. Did you find any drug? It doesn't matter. It's all gone. Disintegrated. That's how screwed up this is. So, thanks for tuning in this morning. Appreciate everybody watching. Have a great day. And as always, take time to bless somebody, especially as we're going into this holiday season. And I will talk to you tomorrow morning.